Today, I'm going to take off my mask and be 100% honest and real with all of you. It has been coming to my awareness recently that there was a layer or a mask that I wasn't fully present to. And it is this awareness that is leading me to make a decision that was a hard decision for me to make. And I'm going to share that with you shortly. But I want to first talk about the achiever mask, the high achiever mask. I have been a high achiever since I was 10 years old. And I write about this extensively in my book, Free to Be a Pathway to Inner Liberation. It was actually through writing my book that I was able to go deep and be really aware of this pattern that was going on for me, that is leading me to this place that I'm at right now in my life. It was a hard one to really see because it has to do with my podcast, Masks Off for People Pleasers and Perfectionists. For those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. I'm Kim Gross. Going back to my awareness, my awakening, it was hard to see this at first because doing this podcast, at writing my book, doing my newsletters are all things that I do truly enjoy. I love connecting with my guests. I have had amazing guests on this podcast, almost 100 guests over 200 and I think 55 episodes in doing this for over 4.5 years. I love it. I love connecting. I love sharing content with all of you. I love talking about personal growth. My work is meaningful and it gives me purpose. I've grown so much through doing these episodes for the last 4.5 years. I would never have probably written my book if I didn't start the podcast first. It's my soul's purpose. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that sharing this message about taking off our masks, being our true selves, being free to be our true selves is what I'm meant to do in this world. Here's where it got tricky. Another way of looking at it, which is truly the way I am looking at it, is that this is an opportunity for me to go even deeper and to heal more layers, peel back those proverbial layers. What I noticed was that there was this energy I was bringing toward everything I was doing. It was this achiever energy. It was an energy of seeking validation and trying to prove. All of these energies, all of these parts of myself, all of these patterns are part of wearing the perfection mask and the people pleaser mask. In the spirit of trying to grow my podcast, grow my audience, get the ratings, the downloads, the likes. I hired people who had an expertise in growing a podcast, growing your social media. I spent lots and lots of money on gaining wisdom or insight from these teachers. And I will say that they did have some skill sets that I didn't. They had certain knowledge that I did not have. From that perspective, it was worth the time and it was worth the money. But what happened was that this energy of I have to listen to what my quote unquote teachers say and do what they tell me to do so that I can get an A on the paper. In other words, my old pattern from middle school and high school of trying to get straight A's and be the perfect student, that energy, that part of me was creeping in, which only tells me and points in the direction that there's more for me to heal. And I was also at the same time overwhelmed and exhausted. That, along with writing my book, which writing a book is like birthing a baby. My book was about 9 months it took. So it was like same as having a baby. And I really went into this place of overwhelm and this pushing energy and just had my laptop with me all the time. And I would just, one more hour, one more hour, one more paragraph when I knew I was exhausted. And so it was hard for me to stay in this place of being in my essence energy. I was in a doing, hustle, grind, proving, looking for validation place. Even though I didn't start there. When I started the podcast, it was purely from a standpoint of I want to create, I want to inspire. It felt like my soul, my purpose was telling me that this was where to be and what to do. And all of that was true. And until it wasn't anymore. When I was feeling exhausted or overwhelmed, there was still for a long time because I also am the type of person who won't give up. So I just kept on pushing. And if I just stick with it a little bit longer and push a little harder, then I'll get the outcome I want. Then I'll get the result I want. And it just wasn't happening. And I was just becoming more and more exhausted. But as I mentioned, everything happens for a reason. Life is always here to teach us, it's here for us. And because personal growth is important to me, and I want to continue to evolve and be the best version of myself. And I also desire freedom. I desire balance. I desire vitality. Those are three core pillars for my life. I didn't have freedom. I definitely didn't have balance. And because I didn't have the balance and the freedom, I didn't have vitality. My life force was being drained because I would wake up every day with my list of things that I had to do. And I just kept pushing through and checking off. There were times that I would take a break. There were times I would go for a walk or being in nature. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. There was not enough balance. I was still in the doing energy more than I was in the being energy. This has led to me making a decision that in order for me to get back to this place of being in the being, my being, essence, creation, inspiration, joy, freedom, peace, abundance, all the things that I write about in my book. I have to walk the walk and practice what I preach. I have made the decision that I'm going to take a break from podcasting. I'm taking a break from creating new content. What does that mean? It means I'm not entirely sure if and when I will start to create again. I believe that I will. I do believe that there is still a desire within me to want to podcast, to share and create. But what I do know for certain is that I do not want to continue to create from that old space. I do not want to release new episodes from that old energy of push, hustle, grind. I want to share. I want to inspire. I want to create. I want the podcast to have an impact on you in a positive way. If you can benefit from what I'm sharing, what I'm teaching, great, amazing. If it doesn't, then so be it. If I don't gain the followers or the likes, subscribes, whatever it is, reviews, then so be it. I can no longer allow myself to be attached to those specific outcomes or results because it will zap me of my creativity and my worthiness as well. I don't want to stay stuck in that pattern that the outcomes or results are tied to my worthiness. I talk about this all the time in the podcast and in my book that it has been a long standing pattern for me, a very deep wound that my worth was attached to my grades, my weight, the number on the scale, the zip code, the money in the bank, how perfect I was as a mom, daughter, etc. I have healed that part of me to a great extent. Like a big part of me is really healed from that. And there was just this last layer, this last pattern where I could just see that I was still attached to having validation and having results and outcomes. So I just need to take a step back. I need to take a deep breath. I need to just recharge, replenish, and be clear. I'm looking for that clarity of what is it that my soul is really wanting to do and to share, and how can I be in alignment with that? So I'm learning to tap in and tune in to my intuition even more so that I'm in alignment. And if that alignment is for me to create more episodes, more content for the podcast, then that's what I'm going to do. When that will happen, I'm not entirely sure because I will be led to that moment one step at a time. What I will do in the meantime is, and I'm not sure how often, maybe once a week, maybe every couple weeks, I haven't really decided, but I will share some of the older episodes. They're all impactful, but some of the top hits or some that I feel would bring added value for you to listen to again if you've already heard it as a reminder, or if you're new to this podcast, then you'll be able to hear it for the first time. I know that I listen to other podcasts and there are certain episodes that I will listen to over and over because each time I listen to it, I pick up on something new or different. It never hurts to listen to a podcast episode more than once. So that is what I'll do is share that with you, share some old episodes with you just to keep things going and connected. As soon as I know the next steps, I will come back and share it with you. But I'm pretty sure that I'm going to take a break, a sacred pause, at least through the holidays. And then I'm going to check in with myself. Well, I'm checking in every day through my journaling, through meditation, and just seeing where I'm at. And when I have more information to share, I will definitely be back and you'll know it because I'll say, this is Kim Gross, the host of Masks Off for People Pleasers and Perfectionists. And I am here with brand new content. And I'm so excited to share. That is what you will hear from me if that is the direction I decide to go in. So I hope that by me coming on today and being transparent with you, where I'm at in my life in this journey will be maybe a spark or inspiration for you to examine some part of your life where you know that it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. You're in this place of overwhelm, dread, exhaustion, burnout. Might feel like it's Groundhog Day, same thing over and over again. And you're just not feeling alive or feeling vitality. You feel like you're supposed to be doing something else, but you're not. If any of those thoughts or feelings are coming up for you, to take a step back and examine and really examine because we only have this life. Life is short. So if you have the opportunity to make some changes or shifts, then why wouldn't you? In the meantime, I hope that you have a great holiday season if you celebrate, and I will be back when I'm back. Take care, everybody.